Hello there. My name is Chris, aka RoboPack92, and you are watching This is the Waypoint, the one and only Star Wars podcast right here on the Shared Screens Podcast Network. Let me tell you, it's finally here. We've been talking about it for weeks. We've been waiting on this project for years. The man, the myth, the legend, Obi-Wan Kenobi has arrived, and we have seen the first 2 episodes, and today we have a beautiful panel of beautiful people to talk about this gorgeous TV show. Joining us, of course, on the ones and twos, Alec Bobco.
Hello.
Live from somebody's living room, it's Jim Tasty.
Question to everybody: is Jango Fett in this show?
No, he is not.
No.
Wrong.
No, he is not.
Wrong.
Oh my god. Coming in with a fresh haircut, there's Jordan Deeb.
What's up, y'all?
I love the hair flip. And of course, as always, streaming directly from the world between worlds, some other Josh.
Hello there. I'm disappointed we didn't all do it, but you know what? Whatever.
It's just all hello. There's the whole
Hello there.
Hello there.
Could have been, but
Kind of like the best joke in that Lego Star Wars Christmas special when you had young, middle, and old Obi-Wans all get together and all three of them like, hello there, hello there.
Oh, yeah.
The Star Wars equivalent of the Spider-Man meme.
Pretty much. Yeah, absolutely
Gotcha.
it is. So, as usual, we're gonna sit down, kind of talk about the things we liked about Kenobi. We got some fun little facts and expanded universe Easter eggs as always, and then we're gonna give maybe some hints or rather just kind of see where we think the show is going from there. As usual, our review shows here on This is the Waypoint have no rhyme or reason. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna talk about what we loved about the show and just vibe and have a good time. We were blessed by our Lord and Saviors over at Disney Plus and given 2 episodes to start with, and there's definitely some meat on these bones.
And a
so
midnight
you know what?
release
I'm gonna
Eastern time.
Thank you,
midnight
thanks for
release. Oh my God! Please never release anything at 3 a.m. ever again. Please just continue this forever. Because it was so nice to be able to just watch it and not have to avoid Twitter all day long until I could get home after work, right? Because I'm not staying up till 3 a.m. I gotta wait for my wife and I to be off of work so we can watch it together. And it's just, no, midnight, please, forever. Please. I'm begging you, please. Anyway,
Pretty please.
let's talk about episodes 1 and 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I want to hear some general thoughts first. Let's go around the panel. Just give me the general vibes, how you felt about it. Brett, why don't you start off with this, man?
Yeah, overall, I liked it a lot. There's a few things that like had me concerned, or I was like, I wonder where they're going with this. But I think just seeing Ewan back as Obi-Wan is so like it's insane. So
And
just
he's
happy.
so good too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, his performance is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
So go ahead.
yeah. So happy that he's back and excited to see where the story goes.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Jordan, thoughts and feelings?
I really, really like the first 2 episodes. I'm starting to realize I think that the years between episodes 3 and 4 is a really interesting place for Star Wars.
I've been trying to tell you. I've been trying to tell you, bro.
Listen, I felt this way since Force Unleashed, but I'm starting to realize like more and more that there is a lot of potential there. Like the Fallen Order sequel got announced today. Fallen Order takes place just a few years before this, and like I think it's interesting to see like what the Empire does.
In fact, Fallen Order takes place 5 years prior to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Jedi Survivor takes place in the same year.
I thought it took place 4 after
5.
episode 3. It is 5.
So Fallen Order is 5 after episode 3. Survivor is 10 years after episode 3, which is Obi-Wan Kenobi is 10 years also after episode 3. Yeah, because Anakin or Luke and Leia are both 10 years old.
Yes.
Oh, full spoilers, by the way. Sorry about that. We don't do non-spoiler reviews here on This is the Waypoint. Yeah, Leia's 100% in this show. Sorry about that.
No.
Great child actor too.
Great child actress. Looks way younger than 10 though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But she does kind of have that Carrie Fisher-ness.
When she
her.
said, "So I don't need manners around you," I was like, "I fuck with this kid. She's cool."
You gotta slap them rich kids around sometimes. You know what I mean? You just gotta let them know. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of slapping people around, some of the Josh, what are your thoughts on Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I loved it so far. I tweeted that there are some themes from The Last Jedi in this show, and I fucking love that shit so much. The parallels between Obi-Wan and Luke here, like both them just being like completely consumed by their failure and their past mistakes, and like Obi-Wan being reluctant to help bail out. Love that. Chef's kiss. I wasn't expecting Leia to be the catalyst for this story. It's taken with Obi-Wan, and that's fucking incredible.
Right?
Kumail Nanjiani
Oh,
kills it. I love him. He reminded me of my boy DJ, aka Don't Join from The Last Jedi. Even more themes from that movie in there. I fucking love it.
don't join.
That's his name, bro. That's his name. That's literally his name, man. Had a couple issues with the action. Weird that we saw Jawas and they weren't hairy this time. I pointed this out to Chris.
Where are
on
my hairy
Boba Fett.
Jawas?
They're
Exactly.
not dating what's her face. You know what I mean? She only
But
she likes him
still,
hairy.
as soon as she said that, we always saw them with hair, and they reverted
I went
back.
back and watched New Hope, and I was like, "Fuck, they are hairy."
Yep,
Like, what the
not in
shit?
this show. But yeah, no, I loved it. It's great.
Alec, give me the vibes, baby. What are your thoughts?
This is what we've been waiting for since 2005. Like, come on, we've always wanted to know. There's that gap between 3 and 4, and we
Mhm.
got Rogue One, which helped. We have Rebels, which is peak Star Wars. If you haven't watched Rebels, please watch Rebels. We've been trying to tell you that.
Oh my god, yeah. We did this. If we were to have a subheader, it would be "This is the Waypoint, a Star Wars podcast. Please watch Rebels."
Yeah. But as for Obi-Wan Kenobi, I love this show. This is peak Star Wars to me with just these 2 episodes. And I gotta say, at the end of episode 2, I mean, we're getting deep into spoilers now, but when Obi-Wan learned that Anakin is still alive, that might be the best performance in any Star Wars.
Let me
Period.
before I get into my thoughts, let's just talk about that scene for a second, because for
Yeah.
whatever reason, going into this show, it had not occurred to me that maybe Obi-Wan didn't know that Anakin had survived.
I
Yeah.
thought the exact same thing. That was not a thought that crossed my mind, but
For whatever
makes
reason,
sense
I was like, yeah, he knows Anakin's Vader, whatever. But then I was like,
Right.
shit, what if he doesn't? Like, oh my
Because
god,
he just
wait,
saw
what?
him there burn up. Like, he
Yeah.
probably assumed he just died there.
And isn't Vader, for like at least the first few years, kind of considered a myth?
Vader's not very public. Even by the time you get to A New Hope, he's not like the most, but like the Rebellion knows who he is because their forces constantly come into contact. But if you think about like the general public, yeah, Vader's just kind of like a whatever. Like he may exist, he might not. Who knows? He was sort of like the Emperor's secret weapon at times.
Yeah.
And then especially even like people know who the Inquisitors are because the Inquisitors go out and find the Jedi like for Vader, and Vader only
Mhm.
steps in when the Inquisitors fail. You know what I mean? So yeah, it kind of makes sense to me, especially when you think that Obi-Wan's kind of isolating himself. The only thing that he's really doing is cutting up space salmon and watching over Luke Skywalker, right?
Which I fucking love. Obi-Wan the man. If you're making minimum wage or less than minimum wage, steal from your work.
Absolutely,
Steal
dude.
from your work. He's taking some
Absolutely.
space salmon, feeding it to a space camel. He's the man.
That's
At
the-
first I
that.
thought he
Right
was
there.
stealing, but then he was just doing it like so in the open
Nah, he's
that I
stealing
was just
for
like,
sure.
you're still stealing,
He's
right?
stealing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's just getting
yeah,
sloppy with it. Also,
If you
what is
work
it
at a
with
fast food restaurant, take some extra food. Take like
Shout-
5 nuggets.
No one's
for
Shout
gonna
out
dinner.
know.
to him using the Fortnite knife for those scenes too. But yeah, just for whatever reason, like it makes sense. It was weird that I hadn't thought about it, but I mean, if you think about Obi-Wan isolating himself, cutting up space salmon, watching after Luke Skywalker, that's the only thing. He's not really that in tune with the Force at this time. He's buried his lightsaber out in the desert. Like he just wants nothing to do with the Jedi anymore. He's here to keep Luke alive.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, like I'd seen some people be like, how would he not know Vader's alive? Like, wouldn't he be able to like sense or hear something? Or like, not on Tatooine, not that far out removed. They even make a point of saying it's like, yo, you're on the Outer Rim. There's no Jedi here.
Yeah.
Like,
He's a hermit.
yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, he's a crazy old hermit. And just yeah, so that moment hits, and you can just see the pain and realization on Obi-Wan's face. Like, yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Alec. That's an incredible performance.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus the follow up too, where he's stuck with Leia, and it's like, how do you explain this to a 10-year-old? Like, he
Yeah.
can't.
Not even
where
just
she's
a
like,
10-year-old.
What's the matter?
His kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
yeah.
Like, all the more.
When
Like,
he
it's
said,
just such a complicated fucking
Oh my God.
situation. and-
When he was talking to Leia about how much she
Yes.
reminds him of Padme.
yeah.
A great
Oh
leader.
my God, my
like,
heart.
the great
Bro.
leader line just.
At first, I thought he was going to say, "You remind me of your dad," and then she would think he's talking about Bale, but he's talking about Anakin. And then, when I was like, "Oh, he specifically means Padme."
Yeah, he's
yeah.
Which
shouting out Padme,
Huge
which
Clone
I
Wars
love.
reference.
Which I love. And to kind of circle around real fast, just so I can give some quick impressions. This was exactly like these first 2 episodes were exactly what I was looking for out of this show.
Yep.
It hit it tonally. It looks incredible. I have literally just one little gripe, and that's kind of it. Like everything else about this is exactly like pitch perfect for what I was hoping that this show would be in, and I hope it continues to be this. It's just it feels like the sequel to Revenge of the Sith. You know what I mean? It's you
Yeah.
watch Revenge of the Sith and then you watch Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's like watching Rogue One and then A New Hope. You know what I mean? Like this is going to be, I think, included in all of my movie rewatches now, just because like it feels so intrinsic to that, and I really hope that keeps going because I really enjoy that. If I did have to mention my one gripe, it's weird that a bunch of grown ass men couldn't catch a 10-year-old, but whatever. It's a quick
Twice.
scene.
I saw a lot of people say online, it's like when you're playing with like a younger person, like a kid, and you're chasing them, and you're like, "Oh, I can't get you." Oh, it's
No,
like,
It was fine up until you get that one shot of that dude who just runs into a tree branch. I was
No,
like,
yeah,
right.
you could have cut that.
Brett, I had the same exact thought at the very beginning of the chase in the first episode when they're in the woods. They are all ready to run, but they're all like, "You gotta go first, kiddo." Like,
Right? Yeah.
Also, when they sent out the guards, I thought they sent out more than one. It looked like
It's
2,
not
and then
3.
you only see.
Well, I think they
Yeah.
split.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
they
okay.
split up
I
in
think
different
he was just
directions.
the only one to find her, and then he got
And then it got fucking
blasted.
iced.
By Flea, the drummer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I was not expecting this man to show up. This dude just shows up in random shit like Baby
Bassist.
Driver. I'm like, dude, this dude's just in everything.
Just
Fucking
wanna
Baby
point out,
Driver.
He plays bass in the Red Hot Chili
He's
Peppers.
bass, not
Sorry,
drummer.
yeah.
I was gonna say the drummer's the one that looks like
Bass
Will
player.
Ferrell, and I didn't see
Plays
anyone
bass.
that looks like
Yes.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah. Flea, the bassist of fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers. in
Peppers,
this,
yeah.
I was ecstatic. I was like, this is fantastic.
Yeah, he showed up and I went, no fucking way.
Yeah.
I was like, oh
Is
my
that fucking
God.
Flea?
Spoilers: Will Ferrell's actually an Inquisitor that shows up in
Dude,
episode
that's
3.
fucking
He's
so
the
dope.
he's the 8th brother, bro.
I'll say
Yeah.
real quick.
Stepbrother.
Speaking of Inquisitors, the Grand Inquisitor, like it's like there's a different like canon going on here between Rebels, or is he
So-
like not dead?
No,
It's
I don't
his
think he's dead.
it's his twin brother.
Grander
Clone.
Inquisitor.
Or are
I
there
don't think
multiple
he's
Grand
dead,
Inquisitors?
and I do see a lot of questions about like they can't kill him or they'd be retconning Rebels. I was like, guys, Dave Filoni's a producer on this show. He's not going to kill one of the main characters of one of his own
I
shows.
know.
Right?
There's
I
been
think
some-
they stabbed him. I think he's injured, and this is the best way to kind of remove the Grand
Yeah.
Inquisitor from the
To
hunt
bring
for
in
Kenobi,
Vader.
so that way it could be Vader and Reva and Kenobi, and just kind of circle
Yeah.
around those three
Yeah,
characters.
that makes
yeah.
sense.
Is there a difference between the sisters and the Inquisitors? Because like my biggest exposure to the sisters was in Jedi Fallen Order.
The sisters are
Mhm.
Inquisitors.
They are, but they just
Yeah.
have that's just what they're referred to
That's
as.
like their title.
Yes.
And the ranking,
their
the
titles,
numbers
yes.
aren't really associated with ranking because the
No.
brother was the 5th brother in the show.
Oh,
here.
okay. So is it just like
He
the
has more
10
seniority over
It's
the
just the
over
brothers, the sisters, and then the Grand Inquisitor?
Correct.
Because I didn't hear them refer to anyone else as brothers.
Yeah. So the guy is the 5th brother.
Okay.
And then you have
Han
Reva's
Fast
the
and
3rd
Furious.
sister, I
Yeah,
believe. Because
third.
second sister is Trilla from Fallen Order.
And then you also fight the 7th or the 9th in that
The
one?
9th sister.
Ninth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck that boss battle.
I love that. It's
That
my
boss
favorite
battle
one.
was great.
It's my
yeah,
favorite
that's
one.
sick, man.
Jordan's like, fuck. I fucking
I didn't
hate
say it
that
was
game.
bad. I just went, fuck it.
Fight. No, that would be the final Trilla fight, but I digress.
That's it.
Yeah, it was cool. I was surprised at how many Inquisitors there are. like
Right.
present within it. Because you get Grand Inquisitor, you get Riva, you get Fifth Brother, and I forget. I missed the call
I
out
don't think they
of the other
named
one.
that other sister.
Fourth sister.
Fourth sister. Okay.
Yeah, she's all over the Hasbro stuff right now. She's the one with the
Okay.
like longer
Yeah,
tail.
yeah. I'd
I-
I don't. I just didn't retain that name for some reason. But yeah, she has
I
4 of them. It's cool.
fucking love the tension between them. How they're like always at each other's throats. How like Han's trying to bring in Riva and be like, "Yo, you need to like settle down," and she's like,
you gotta chill.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm owed to this. Like she has some sort of connection. Obviously, probably one of the Padawans from the beginning we saw there. Brett, you got
Live
I
action
would say,
clones.
yeah, I like the dynamic between them, but to me,
Mhm.
Riva was like too insubordinate to the Grand Inquisitor. Or that was something I was like,
Well, I
okay,
think that's
this is,
kind of the point, though, right?
but like the thing with this is like this isn't their first rodeo, and so how long has she been doing like stunts like this where like like Vader or like Imperial officer brings Vader like the wrong soda and they get killed, and like she's like actively like stabbing her boss. Like that was one
throwing
thing.
knives, cutting off hands, fucking placing
Those were cool. Those were
bounties.
cool.
And
I like
that was
those.
brutal.
Stabbing
I was
'em.
not ready for her to just fucking bisect
Fucking
somebody
saw
right in the
right.
middle. She's
Yeah.
like,
She
all right,
warned.
next
She warned
question."
him. She warned.
Yeah. Threatening
Uh,
Owen's whole family. God damn, what a scene! I was
mean,
like, that re-
That was tense.
Yeah.
And
And
it's like
I'm-
I know he lives, but I was still like, "Ooh,
I was just gonna
what's
say that.
yeah,
I know that Owen lives, but I'm like, is he gonna die right now?
it's like some Inglorious Bastard shit where the Nazis are like interrogating people.
Yeah,
and they're
that
like, Yo, where
saloon
the-
scene was
where
like
Jews?"
just like Inglourious Bastards.
Mhm.
Exactly. That was the
Yeah.
vibe I was getting, and I was here for it all. And when
I
he's
wouldn't
like
be
looking
surprised
back at Kenobi,
if they came out and said that was the inspiration for that scene too.
oh, 100%.
Um,
Also, so sad that like Kenobi's kind of like old Saint Nick, like bringing Luke toys, and Owen's just throwing them back, and he's like, "Fucking leave my kid alone."
First off, let's
Of
course
course.
that is the T-16 Skyhopper that we see Luke playing with briefly
I
in A
didn't
New
know that
Hope.
until I saw a tweet
Um,
later today.
because it's a real short thing in the movie, yeah, to where he's 3PO's getting his oil bath, he's about to start scrubbing Obi-Wan, and he's like, it's not fair, like Uncle will let me go anywhere, and he picks up this Skyhopper off the thing and then like does one of these and puts it back down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also the ship that he used to bullseye Womp Rats with, is a T-16 Skyhopper. He had a little model of it, and yeah, the idea that I assume Obi-Wan got it to him eventually, because he has it in A New Hope, right? But yeah, I love sort of that way of him trying to take care of Luke, but also still kind of fits within what we know about Luke in A New Hope, who probably has only met Obi-Wan once or twice.
He's like, heard of 'em,
Yeah, because he knows
Yeah.
of old
Or
Ben
heard of him,
Kenobi.
yeah.
Yeah, he knows who Ben Kenobi is. He's probably interacted with him once or twice, but not frequently.
Again, it's
Um,
like old Saint Nick,
yeah,
Bring-
just kind of
bring him presents.
showing up.
Mhm.
Here's some
Yeah.
some gifts for you.
Here's
But
some
I
toys.
do love seeing that side of Ben, like wanting to try and take care of him, make sure he's happy. And I did love that scene with Owen to where he's like, "How is he? Is he okay?"
Yeah.
And Owen's like, "Fuck you, dude. You don't give a shit about him."
Mhm.
Like
It
what an
hurt.
incredible scene.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to the performances of both of those actors, because that scene has been all over all of like the instant, like the Twitter ads and commercials and stuff for it, and it still hit when Owen claps back with him with what he's like, what, like, you trained his father?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't come, yeah, don't come back, leave us
Oh
alone.
yeah. Harder clapback though, Leia with her cousin. First of all, I love that they just
Yeah.
casted the most annoying kid as their cousin, and he's a fucking bigot. And she's like, "You're mean to droids," and then fucking just like dunks on his ass. I was like, "Ooh, you get his ass." You know, that was
Yeah.
great.
I love the Leia character too, because she's very rambunctious, very
Mhm.
Skywalker. You know, it's like she's
Oh,
running
yeah.
around. I was like, yeah, she acts exactly like I thought, like a little kid Leia would. But I do love the
Mhm.
idea that she had her own cool little droid named Lola, which you can already pre-order a neat little animatronic toy of,
Hell yeah.
which is
Yeah.
rad. But I also love that's sort of like this characteristic from Anakin that kind of carries over, right? Like
I was
like a
gonna
love
say,
for
like,
droids.
I was gonna say the level of mischief she gets into, I think, is Anakin's
Also
side.
that, yeah.
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 Also
Which
that.
both kids do, like Owen is calling out for Luke like 7 times, and Luke's just like, "Fuck you, dude! I'm gonna
Yeah,
run
Luke's
to
hiding
fake
and pretending to
race."
pod race. Hell yeah.
Exactly. And so it's like they're very similar. However, they live in like polar opposite situations, which I love.
Yeah,
seeing
which
the
I say all the
contrast
time. Like
between.
Luke got the short end of the stick on that
Yeah,
one.
absolutely.
Oh,
Like, okay, we
100%.
have 2 twins. One of them's gonna be royalty, and then you're gonna be a farmer.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be fucking poor. An
Yeah.
old man in the desert is gonna sometimes bring you broken toys. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I did love getting to see like little kid Luke. That was really neat.
Mhm.
I love the way that they've portrayed Leia as this just kind of little shit.
Oh yeah.
I think I like how they showed Luke in the trailers, expecting because like, oh, it's Obi-Wan and it's on Tatooine, his responsibilities towards Luke, but then this kind of like surprise that there's actually going to be this big event with Leia
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah.
And so cool to see Alderaan in a live action property.
Yeah.
Yes.
So cool. I really hope nothing bad happens to it. Because it's really
Fingers
neat.
crossed.
It's really neat, you know. But I had theories about like and I just saw this really excellent tweet of this dude who, after that first Kenobi trailer came out, showed like a photo of Obi-Wan on Daiyu, and it was like, there better be a good fucking reason for Obi-Wan to not be safeguarding the last hope of the galaxy, right? And
Oh,
then he
yeah.
retweeted it yesterday. It was like, it was a good reason.
Yeah, her being the
Um,
catalyst for this, incredible. Like, what a great
Yeah.
Yeah,
decision.
it's an excellent choice, and one, just because it's like it makes sense for it's got to be something important enough to pull Obi-Wan away from safeguarding Luke, but also it's a great way to show us why in her hour of need, 15 years later, that she first thinks of like, I have to get these plans in this droid to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Like there's a
Yeah.
reason that Leia goes straight to Obi-Wan, like when she needs him the most. And so that's because I guess prior to this, when you're just looking at the movies, like I guess it kind of makes sense because Bale and Obi-Wan knew each other, but I always thought it was still kind of like that was a little thin, right?
Yeah, like in
I
the original like message that she leaves, she kind of makes it sound like he's also a myth.
Like years ago, you served my father in the Clone Wars, which also
Yeah.
not true.
Yeah.
But they, I
Like
mean,
one,
they didn't tell her
no.
the truth about shit from her.
One
Actually,
also
just-
wrong, but I also love that now that we can see why, yeah, at the point where she's captured by Vader, the plans for the Death Star are out there. Like this is their only chance. She thinks Obi-Wan Kenobi is the person that this needs to go to, and
Yeah.
also it kind of gives us like an actually like really good reason that she named her child after him as well.
Oh, 100%. And someone tweeted like, Ben Kenobi, you're my only hope. Like, that's gonna hit harder now. After the show,
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus,
Something-
what a cool city. 1313 vibes again. Just hits you
Mhm.
right in the
Mhm.
heart.
Ah, you
Love
cool
seeing
planet.
Tamor Morrison cameo. I was not expecting that. Some Django love, of course.
Yeah, was that actually Django? It kind of looked like
Django Fat.
For a
You
second, I thought it
can't
was
see
gonna
it
be
under the
Rex.
beard, but
Brett,
his head.
Django
his head
is
like
very
stitched back on.
below Obi and Anakin's lightsabers. Okay.
Underneath the beard around his neck is a bunch of tape.
Just stitches.
In the what was that Lord of the Rings game that was on PS4?
Shadow of
Shadow of
Mordor.
Mordor.
Yeah, in Shadow of
Yeah.
Mordor, how with the system occasionally you'd fight like a big
nemesis
boss,
system.
and
Uh-huh.
if you beheaded one, he shows up again later with like a part of a bag on his head, and it's just tied around his neck to keep it in
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
That's just Django Fett on
It's like
Daiyu.
Nearly headless. How can you be nearly headless?
Yeah.
But that was really cool, though. I like shout out. It was blue armor, so he's part of the 501st, which I thought was really really interesting. Anakin, it's interesting, and again another like cool like show don't tell example of the differences between Anakin and Vader, right? Because Anakin really cared for the clones, and Vader after that he's like, you know what, fuck you guys, just kind of abandoned this clone that was part of his regiment to live homeless on Daiyu, with all of the Breaking Bad aliens.
Drugs.
Yeah. And I think
love
it
that scene
explains
so
also
We gotta
why
cook Jesse.
Obi-Wan was so quick to donate to him.
Yeah, and it's with that great opening speech from the Grand Inquisitor in the canteen on Tatooine as well, of him talking about it. It's like the Jedi Code, they can't help it. It's like an itch. They have to help people. And so yeah, him like giving coins to this homeless clone. I was like, he can't help it. He's gotta, he's got to do it a little bit. I really like that. Also, just the whole concept of Dayu again is one of those things to where I remember when the trailer came out, I was like, this could kind of just be Coruscant, but I think they did a good enough job of
Distinguishing it.
yeah, distinguishing it as a place like specifically. I guess it would probably be a bad idea for a Jedi to show up on Coruscant. But it did feel like distinct enough that it felt earned to me. I do like the idea of them. You get to see that clearly drug head kid who's like, dude, people don't leave here.
Yeah.
Like,
I
once
was
you're in this
drunk
life,
and
you're
once.
here for good.
Yeah.
It reminded me of one
I
of
had
the
a dad
planets from
once.
the Outer Worlds. I just don't remember the name of the planet. But if anyone played, it's the level where you have to go into the basement and like fight like the gang that runs this like scrapyard city.
Terrace?
It
You
might
talking
be.
about
It's like
KOTOR?
it's like pretty early in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terrace is the first planet you go to in Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah.
No, not Knights of the Old Republic.
It's not
The Outer
Outer
Worlds.
World.
Oh, the Outer Worlds. Oh, I heard Terrace, and I was like, oh, KOTOR. Sorry, I did get a little distracted. I've got the Star Wars Celebration stream up on my TV. I see Ron Howard hashtag make Solo 2 happen. You cowards. Anyway, what are we talking about? Oh yeah,
Outer
Kenobi,
Worlds,
right? Yeah,
apparently.
duh. So
Dayu. And, yeah, I was just gonna say they knew exactly what they were doing with that shot when they first get to Dayu of all those like neon signs.
Oh yeah.
They knew
and also
exactly
shout
what
out
they were
to all of the dope shots of the fifth brother walking around with that platoon of stormtroopers. All of those
Yeah.
hot.
And
Real
even
cool.
the Inquisitors, they have those cool neon lights on their armor. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And the
Also-
dope lightsabers. I love seeing the Inquisitor lightsabers
the
in live action, man.
helicopters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I really like that when he was buying them disguises, she got like that really poncho-ish green jacket like she's wearing at the end of Return of the Jedi.
It did have some Jedi, but I just love that little scene too. So where she's like, "Can I get these two?" He's like, "You don't need those," and she's like putting them on, and he goes,
And the gloves.
"All right, and the gloves."
And the gloves. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, when you gave it so easy, you just let her walk all over you, man." I did want to talk about, of course, the big reveal at the end of the show, and I'm not talking about the Grand Inquisitor getting stabbed for some reason that I'm sure is fine. Like, it'll make sense. I know a lot of people are upset about that. I'm positive that'll turn out fine.
It wasn't
If
fatal.
Maul could survive, anyone could.
I know people were like, the Grand Inquisitor is dead. I was like, "What, motherfucker? Maul was in
Qui-Gon.
pieces." Actually, you know what? Let's walk that back. There's two things I want to talk about now that you mentioned Qui-Gon. Heartbreaking
that
when
he's
Obi-Wan
reached out.
calls out to Qui-Gon in the cave on Tatooine and just no response.
Like
See,
all the
part of me
sound
was
cut out. All the sound cut out too.
Yeah.
Just so it hit that much harder.
Part of me was like, oh, fuck, did they get Liam Neeson back? And then he didn't show up. And now I'm like, well, maybe as he slowly reconnects back to the Force, like we're going to see Liam Neeson.
So that's happening at the end of the show, right? Like we're gonna get at least a
100%.
voiceover.
Now that he's like back in touch and like actually saved Leia by like reaching out and using the Force again, I
scene.
hope that pays.
Which also
100%.
a lot of Fallen
Very-
Order vibes here.
very
right?
Fallen Order
You've got Inquisitors who do the same thing that they do at the beginning of Fallen Order, and they line a bunch of people up on Dayu, and they're like, "Hey, where's this fucking Jedi at?" Right?
You have
and,
the
and on-
protagonist hiding in a blue-collar job for whatever reason.
absolutely, and somebody falls to
The
their
way his
death,
face-
and they slow them with the Force to save them. I'm like, fuck yeah, give me more Fallen
Exactly.
Order, baby, absolutely.
But
or
I like
that-
that because she was like,
Jedi
I want you to make me
Survivor.
float.
Yeah.
I did like
yeah,
that.
which
Yeah.
also was a payoff to that. But now that like that those are in play, like I'm expecting this to play off or pay off, and we'll get hopefully just at least
This is-
voiceover from Liam Neeson.
So
I think we'll hear Qui-Gon at
So,
least at some point.
His
in the
voice was
show.
in Rise of Skywalker, right? Or not?
Correct. Yes, it
Yes.
was.
Okay.
Yes.
So he's not against it.
No.
well,
Alec, go ahead.
so yeah, I think we'll definitely hear a voiceover just because this is something I think it was in Clone Wars where like Qui-Gon didn't finish his training to fully become Force Ghost. He can still communicate, but he can't fully Force Ghost.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the idea. Is I don't know whether we'll see Liam Neeson, but I think for sure we'll hear him.
In
I think he actually didn't he do lines in Clone Wars, in fact, like during
Yeah.
that Yoda arc.
Yeah, the way it works out is that he can manifest like
Oh, okay.
visually. Yeah, he like somehow learned how to do it even after he died. Yeah.
He learned.
Yeah,
ghost
I
lines.
think that was an old Legends thing. That's an old canon expanded universe thing to where he couldn't. He wasn't like completely trained enough or whatever to do it. I think he can manifest in new canon.
Gotcha.
And of course, again to circle back around, things really got to pop off now because we've seen almost every single scene in all of the promotional material, with the exception of
I was
everything
thinking
that
the
happens
same
at there's a couple shots that we see in the trailers at the Fortress Inquisitorius. Also, again, shout out Fallen Order. We haven't seen anything happen in those first 2 episodes, but everything involving Obi-Wan has already been shown. It's
All
like we've
out.
seen everything that was in all of the trailers. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
all new stuff from here on out.
I'm so excited.
Very
dude.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gonna be
Very,
fucking
very
sick.
cool. And episode ends, of course, with the bomb, the big one, right? Hey, guess what? Vader's alive. And Obi-Wan's like, holy shit, what? And then we see motherfucking Hayden Christensen floating in the bacta tank, baby!
Yo.
Hot damn!
What a way to
I
end
was-
an episode.
What a way to end an episode, dude. So now I have a question for you, of course. And again, this is not spoilers, not a leak. They've shown this in promotional material. We know at some point they've been calling it the rematch of the century. Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting each other at least one more time.
Well, I mean, we got spoiled in 1974 when Vader had the line.
We meet again at last.
Yeah.
So, do you think that happens in the last episode or in the next one?
I think it'll be a bit more. I think for him to
Mhm.
ignite his lightsaber again, I think that has to mean something.
gonna be-
and so I think,
Do you think it's going to be Vader? Like
I-
that's the first time he turns the saber on?
I think so. So I think they're gonna hold out maybe episode 4. We see him ignite it for the first time, but I don't think it's gonna be immediately next episode.
I don't. Yeah. I would love to see just the moment we know Vader's there, just Vader versus Obi-Wan. Let's go. I'm curious to see if we'll see Obi-Wan dueling an Inquisitor at any point. I think that'd be a really cool fight. I'm excited to see what this might sound strange. I'm excited to see what the choreography is kind of going to look like for that, right?
Mhm.
Because they're still using the light up sabers, clearly, which are heavier than the ones that they used in the prequel. So I'm curious to see how sort of like spinny everything's going to be, for lack of a better term.
I think it'll be a good blend, similar to like Force Awakens and a lot of those
Mhm.
fights in the sequel trilogy. Like those fights blend like the flashiness of the prequels with the choreography of the originals very well. And I think that's what we're gonna get here. That's like at least what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Like I want the blades to have a little bit more weight to them, while still being flashy. And
I
spinning
would
on
like
the
to see them
Inquisitor
kind
side.
of up. I would like to see them up the flash a little bit because it's Obi-Wan, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that'd be interesting. But he is a little older too. I can make the assumption that it's like, and who's clearly out of practice. He looked like he was kind of digging deep to
Yeah.
grab to grab Leia there.
Mhm.
And of course, I'm sure the Vader suit's not easy to move around in. So
Exactly.
I'm hoping for a nice like middle ground.
I don't think it's gonna be like Mustafar where they're both like standing like 3 steps apart from each other and they're just
Oh,
you know,
it's so fucking cool.
fucking just
So-
doing that.
No,
Like I don't think we're
God,
getting
it's
any of that shit. That shit's so
dumb.
corny, dude.
It's corny, but I don't know. I just like how
attack
fast
each
it
other.
goes.
Just swing,
I
you know?
I watched Revenge of the Sith last night after I watched Kenobi, and that full 3 seconds where they're not even hitting
Yeah.
each other, stupid.
Yeah, no,
so
the context
dumb,
of the fight
bro.
is dumb, but I'm just like, it's still cool. I just like how
Yet that's what every TikTok person wants to do with the saber.
Yeah,
the
twirls.
Obi Annie spin. It's what everybody wants to
Obi-Wan
learn.
spin.
Yeah.
I know how to do it. I can do it. I learned it, bro. Absolutely, I did. I use that GIF every time I play a Star Wars game, bro. Yes, I put it on Twitter, but it's dumb. How fucking hilarious would it be if they recreate the Obi-Wan spin in the show?
I
That's
would
like half
crack the
speed.
fuck up, dude.
They could. I feel like a good way for it to be like heavier but still a little flashy for Vader's end, because it can't be easy to move around, is like for him take a lot of inspiration of from the end of Rogue One, where he's just murking people.
I think Vader's gonna. I think they're gonna go all out for Vader, right? Like they're gonna make him much more fluid than we've ever seen him. Probably like similar to what we see in Rogue One, and powerful and imposing. And I'm excited, man. I'm curious as to what this next episode is going to look like, honestly, because I mean, Obi-Wan and Leia are leaving Daiyu, presumably back to Alderaan. So I'm curious now, kind of what the plot looks like. Because I was expecting, I guess, more of a MacGuffin kind of surrounding Leia, but now I think the plot might be it's the Halo Reach thing where on Obi-Wan's HUD, he's now like current objective survive.
Yeah.
And is gonna have the Inquisitorius after him.
Tatooine.
Vader. Yeah, probably back to Tatooine. I wouldn't be surprised.
Now, do you guys think Leia's going to stay in the show throughout the 6 episodes? Because at some point it has to be like how come you never mentioned this?
No, I don't think she will.
Yeah.
I think she'll probably be present next episode and then not for the last 2.
Yeah, they're probably gonna land on some random planet, get caught up in something else, and then he finds someone to send her with back to Alderaan, and he has to stay. Obviously, not to go with her to bring the heat on her. So, then he has to go somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's gonna be like, hey, you go here now because Vader's after
Dexter
me.
Jetster takes her home.
Fuck yeah, please.
Damn!
Please.
Oh my god!
Hey,
Holy shit!
Fuck yeah, dude! I'd piss my pants if Dexter Jetster. He's the best.
Elon
part of Attack of the
Sleazabagano
Clones.
takes her home.
He's driving her home. He's like, I
He's
used to
wearing
sell death sticks.
He's
but
wearing
now
a
I try
Dare
space calves."
t-shirt. A Dare t-shirt.
Everyone who's watching this, 10 gifted subs to Jim Tasty if Dexter
Absolutely,
Jester
now you
fucking
got to.
shows up.
Now you got to. Epic creator code Jim Tasty. All right, go buy that Obi-Wan Kenobi skin.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, this, of course, has been This Is the Waypoint. Down in the comments /Twitter /whatever, please let us know. You've been watching Obi-Wan Kenobi. Why are you watching this if you haven't been? Please let us know what you think of it. Because, wow, this is some top quality Star Wars. You know what I mean? I think if the quality of these first 2 episodes continues throughout the rest of it, this could be one of the best Star Wars projects that's ever been made. And that is extremely exciting.
This
Thank you
is
guys
the
so much
first
for
act.
watching. I know. That's crazy, right? That's insane. It's a good time to be a Star Wars fan. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you at the next Waypoint.